If you think you have an awful job with terrible hours, and you think your boss is a slave driver, I can only assure you, you don't have the shorter end of the stick. Compared to the working conditions of the operatives of the 9 deadliest special forces in the world, your job is practically a vacation. Number 9. Red Unit. If the regular Talibans are not terrifying enough for you, their special military force, the Red Unit, surely will make you cry out loud during the night. These guys are the epitome of fanaticism and disregard for human life. They are well known for their high-profile attacks against Afghan government forces and civilians. Ever since their inception, they were trained and operated as a counter to the US Special Forces, and naturally, they took much of the US training regiment. However, while the US's usual training promotes resilience in the offensive, the Taliban Red Unit specializes in guerrilla warfare. Though their training sessions are highly secretive, some sources claim that the whole experience is extremely grueling and often involves extreme and brutal methods. Members are trained in bomb-making, ambush tactics, and close-quarters combat. They are also taught to be proficient in using a wide range of weapons, including assault rifles, rocket-propelled grenades, and improvised explosive devices. The unit commanders usually handpick candidates based not only on their skills and experience, but also on their disregard for human life and their own. To be part of the Red Unit, you should be ready for anything, from massacring women and children to literally doing a suicide bombing, if that is necessary. The Taliban Red Unit's weapons of choice include AK-47s, PK machine guns, RPG-7s, and mortars. They are also known to use suicide bombers and car bombs in their operations. Among the most high-profile attacks on their resume are the Intercontinental Hotel in Kubal in 2018, which left over 40 people dead. They're also believed to have attacked the American University of Afghanistan in 2016, which killed 13 people and injured dozens more. Yes, the Taliban Special Forces are terrifying, but compared to what the Russians are capable of, the Red Unit is just a ragtag bunch of misfits. Number 8. Wagner Group. Although the Wagner Group is not strictly a special military force, but rather a private army, they often undertake special military operations. As a result, their fearsome reputation doesn't come as much from their training or capabilities, but rather from their bloodthirst and ferociousness on the battlefield. The group was formed in 2014 by Russian oligarch and businessman Yevgeny Prigozhin, also known as Putin's chef. He's been rumored to be a huge neo-Nazi, and naming his organization after Hitler's favorite composer doesn't help him disprove his affinity toward the far right. Initially, the PMC hired only the toughest Russian military and special forces personnel. Still, with many of them meeting their doom in Ukrainian trenches, Prigozhin started hiring Russian prisoners, offering freedom after a 6-month contract. While this inevitably tarnished Wagner's might, it certainly spiked their deadliness and ferociousness. A testament to their die-hard attitude is the Bakhmut battlefront in Ukraine. The Wagner Group persists in attacking and capturing new neighborhoods, despite the lack of ammunition and the severe casualties. This remarkable persistence is due to the brutal training each recruit has to go through. It focuses on military tactics and marksmanship. Members undergo extensive physical and psychological testing, including crawling while being fired at, avoiding live rounds, and even performing first aid on themselves while having live rounds shot an inch away from their heads. The weapons of choice for the Wagner Group include standard Russian military equipment, but unlike the Russian army, theirs are top of the line and well cared for. The group has been involved in numerous operations, including providing providing military support to the Syrian government during the civil war and allegedly assassinating journalists and political figures in Africa. It was also connected to the Russian invasion of Crimea, where its operatives entered Ukrainian territory without clear insignia. They became known as the Little Green Men, who overtook Crimea for Russia. Undoubtedly, the Wagner Group is one of the deadliest military forces on the planet. Still, as they are not strictly a special force, they lack some impressive skills, tactics, and finesse the next entry shows in their operations. Number 7. 1st Scout Ranger Regiment. If you've ever thought the jungle couldn't be more dangerous, you obviously haven't considered being hunted by the 1st Scout Ranger Regiment. The 1st SRR is the elite Special Forces unit of the Philippine Army, tasked with conducting reconnaissance, raids, and special operations against various threats, including terrorism, insurgency, and drug trafficking. While they operate on any terrain, their specialty is jungle anti-guerrilla warfare. So if you think wild animals are the deadliest things in the Philippine jungle, you are definitely wrong. The selection process to become the 1st SRR member is incredibly rigorous and demanding. Soldiers must have served at least 3 years in the army, passed a series of physical, medical, and psychological exams, and undergo a grueling assessment process. The assessment process includes long-distance runs, obstacle courses, water survival training, and simulated combat scenarios. Selected soldiers then undergo an intensive 6-month training program that includes specialized courses in jungle warfare, counter-terrorism, close-quarters combat, and skills such as parachuting, rappelling, and diving. One of the most challenging exercises involves survival training, where recruits are dropped alone in a random place in the jungle with only the clothes on their backs and a compass. They must complete a mission and reach an extract point within a time limit. Just like my dad always said, nothing makes you a man faster than facing a crocodile with your bare hands. Once they graduate, scouts become a force to be reckoned with, equipped with M4 carbines, M14 rifles, various machine guns, and grenades. The 1st Scout Ranger Regiment has a long history of successful operations against various threats, including a hostage situation by the Abu Sayyaf group and various battles with the New People's Army and other insurgent groups. The Special Forces Group is definitely formidable, but compared to the Indian Marines, they are more like a peasant army. Number 6. Marcos. The Marine Commando Force, MCF, is a highly esteemed Special Forces unit of the Indian Navy that specializes in a broad range of maritime operations, including special reconnaissance, amphibious warfare, and hostage rescue. Established in 1987, the MCF comprises about 2,000 exceptionally skilled and dedicated soldiers who undergo a rigorous selection and training process. To be considered for the MCF, candidates must have a history in the Indian Navy and pass a dismantling 3-day selection process involving extreme physical and mental tests. Approximately 80% of all applicants fail during this selection process. Successful candidates then proceed to a grueling 5-week endurance training, which includes a weekly 75-mile march with a 132-pound backpack, among other tasks. Those who don't end up in a hospital during this mentally breaking experience are awarded the infamous Hell Week, inspired by the US Special Forces training, where they must endure rigorous training while sleeping only 4 hours a night. Candidates must also complete a half-mile run through a thick waist-high mud pit while carrying a 55-pound backpack, aptly named Death Crawl, where there have been at least 3 fatalities during this exercise. Delightful. Those who pass the selection and training process are trained by different specialists in various skills, including mastering all types of weapons, close combat, parachuting, diving, underwater navigation, and hand-to-hand combat. The unit's motto, "The Few and the Fearless," reflects the exceptional training and dedication required to join this elite force. Moreover, they have shown their brilliant tactics on more than one occasion. For example, they played a key role in eliminating the Mumbai terrorist attacks in 2008. They have also been involved in anti-piracy operations in the Gulf of Aden and have participated in joint exercises with other special forces units worldwide. Impressive! But India's mortal enemy Pakistan has its answer. Number 5. SSG Special Forces, Pakistan. The SSG Special Forces of Pakistan were established in 1956 and are recognized as one of the most elite special forces units in the world. The Black Storks, as they are also known, specialize in unconventional warfare, including special reconnaissance, sabotage, and counter-terrorism. The SSG selection process is shrouded in secrecy, but it is known to be one of the toughest in the world, with only the most determined soldiers able to complete it. To even be considered, soldiers must have a minimum of 3 years of military service, exceptional physical fitness, and mental toughness, and they have to complete a 36-mile march in 12 hours with full gear. The SSG training program is a grueling 9-month process that includes training in various terrains, from high mountains to deep underwater, with little sleep and a lot of physical torment. The final exercise, known as the Final Test or Hell Week, is designed to push soldiers to their limits. It includes continuous physical exertion, sleep deprivation, and mental stress. As a result, only around 5% of all recruits manage to finish the course. SSG soldiers are highly dangerous, even without a weapon, and are rarely seen without an AK-47 assault rifle, the Heckler & Koch MP5 submachine gun, the Glock 17 pistol, the Barrett M82 sniper rifle, the PK machine gun, and the RPG-7 rocket launcher. The SSG has been involved in various high-profile operations, including Operation Zarb-e-Azb, where the SSG played a key role in the operation against the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, TTP, in the North Waziristan region. In 2019, the SSG was involved in several airstrikes on Indian positions in Kashmir. As you can imagine, the Indian government was not too happy. So, who are they gonna call? Nope, not the Ghostbusters. Number 4. Para-SF. Para-SF, also known as the Indian Army's Special Forces, is a highly elite military unit dedicated to northern operations and has been described as one of the most important solutions to India's geopolitical concerns with Pakistan. The unit was established in 1966, and its roots can be traced back to the 9th Parachute Battalion, which was created to conduct high-risk and covert operations behind enemy lines. The Para-SF recruitment process is notoriously rigorous, with the training including combat diving, jungle survival, and other strenuous physical and mental exercises. Recruits are pushed beyond their limits and subjected to brutal exercises, including a 4-day food deprivation period, followed by 7 days without sleep while still undergoing rigorous training. The infamous Para-SF stress test takes place on the 45th day, which includes a 10-kilometer speed march with 30-kilogram battle loads and an additional 40-kilogram each. Only the most resilient soldiers endure this torture, leaving approximately 5% of candidates to complete the remaining exercises. The Para-SF is equipped with the latest weapons, including AK-47 assault rifles, MP5 submachine guns, and Glock pistols. The unit has been involved in numerous operations, both within India and abroad, including the 1984 Operation Blue Star, the 2008 Mumbai attacks, and the 2016 surgical strikes against terrorist camps in Pakistan. The Para-SF has shown unmatched expertise in covert operations and the ability to operate in high-stress and high-risk environments, making it an invaluable asset to the Indian Army. In other words, poor Pakistan. Still, though India's Special Military Force is formidable, they are not even close to Asia's most elite Special Forces unit. This honor goes to Turkey. Number 3. Özel Komutangla. Özel, also known as the Special Forces Command, is a highly respected and elite unit within the Turkish Armed Forces. The team has a long history, dating back to the 1950s, when a small group of commandos was formed to conduct covert operations. Today, the unit has grown significantly, with an estimated 15,000 active duty members. What sets the Special Forces Command apart from other military units is the intense and rigorous training process. The recruitment process mainly targets the best of the best from the elite Turkish Land Force Command. The weeding out process allows only the most physically fit and mentally tough applicants to enter the 3.5 years of specialized military training, which includes unconventional warfare, special operations, special reconnaissance and infiltration, covert operations, psychological warfare, underwater operations, static parachute, and halo jumps both day and night. The training is mentally and physically demanding, with exercises such as the brutal Beştepe or 5 hills exercise, which involves running up and down 5 hills in full gear while carrying a 20-kilogram weight. Other exercises include jungle survival, desert survival, and survival in extreme weather conditions, all designed to push recruits to their limits. The Special Forces Command Unit is equipped with the latest and most advanced weapons, including Sig Sauer pistols, Heckler & Koch submachine guns, and M4 carbines, providing the unit with the firepower and accuracy needed to complete their missions efficiently and effectively. The unit has been involved in various operations, including counter-terrorism, hostage rescue, and special reconnaissance missions. In recent years, the Special Forces Command has played a crucial role in the fight against the PKK and other terrorist organizations in Turkey. At first glance, the OKK might sound a bit underwhelming, but one must see them in action to acknowledge their brutal force, unwavering determination, and precision. Still, compared to our top 2 specialist units, the OKK are merely kids playing with sticks, shouting bang bang. Number 2. Canada JTF-2. Canadians are famous for being the most friendly people in the world. Well, not these guys. Joint Task Force 2, JTF-2, is an elite special operations force of the Canadian Armed Forces that specialize in counter-terrorism, hostage rescue, and reconnaissance. The unit was established in 1993, following the success of the Canadian Airborne Regiment in Somalia. JTF-2 has approximately 600 members, making it one of the smaller special forces units in the world. That, however, doesn't make it less deadly. As you can imagine, the selective process is quite rigorous. To be eligible, you need at least 2 years of experience in Canadian forces and have to pass through the first week of extensive fitness tests. This includes countless 200-pound squats, 165-pound bench presses, and sprints of 1.5 miles in under 8 minutes. Those who pass are put through what's essentially mental torture. Candidates have to perform high cognitive tasks while hanging from a rope at a nose-bleeding height, stuck in a small crawling space or deep underwater. Every fear a candidate may have is used against him to challenge his mental limits. Needless to say, this leaves 90% of the recruits crying by the end of the first week. Still, if you want to be the best, you can't allow just anybody in your special military force. So while it has only 600 members, JTF-2 is among the world's most renowned and feared military forces. As proof of their excellence, in 2017, a JTF-2 member beat the world record for the longest sniper kill shot. He managed to down an enemy from a 2.2-mile distance. Moreover, JTF-2 operatives were instrumental in the 2001 Afghanistan War, when they were sent as a forward team to ensure the standard military had a safe place to land and organize. Can you imagine who's in first place if these guys are in second? Number 1. SBS Special Boat Service, UK. Once again, a British Special Force is the most fearsome unit in the world. The SBS, or Special Boat Service, is a specialised unit of the UK Special Forces founded in 1940 during World War II. The unit was initially created to conduct reconnaissance and raiding missions on German-occupied ports and harbours. Today, the SBS is one of the most elite military units in the world, with an estimated 200 to 300 members. To become part of this selected few, you must undergo a cutthroat recruitment process designed to drain your will to live. Some of the most brutal exercises that SBS recruits have to go through include the notorious Killing House exercise, which includes clearing a building of enemy combatants in a simulated combat environment, and the Escape and Evasion exercise, which involves evading capture and interrogation by hostile forces. That's not all, however. The wannabe SBS operatives must undergo immense physical and mental training, including torture, waterboarding, sleep deprivation, hypothermia resistance, pain resistance, and much more. Usually only 2 to 3% of recruits finish this grueling process. The Special Boat Service uses a variety of weapons depending on the mission, situation, and individual preferences of its operators. However, some regulars are Heckler & Koch MP5 submachine guns, Sig Sauer P226 pistol, Colt Canada C8 carbine, Accuracy International Arctic Warfare sniper rifle, and Benelli M4 Super 90 shotgun. Over the years, the SBS has been involved in numerous high-profile operations around the world, including the Falklands War, the Gulf War, and the war in Afghanistan. In recent years, the SBS has also been involved in counter-terrorism operations in the UK and abroad, including the 2017 Manchester Arena bombing and the 2019 Sri Lanka Easter bombings. Yes, the SBS is one of the deadliest forces in the world, and you definitely don't want to mess with them. And though their training is rough, it pales compared to what their big brothers, SAS, have to endure. Check out Part 1 of the Deadliest Special Forces in the World next to see how they perform.